Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today let's go over the best and worst graphics cards to buy for the month of March. If you want a graphics card, then stop watching this video. But if you need a graphics card, then hear me out. Because of the RAM apocalypse, GPU prices have also gone up in price because the memory made in those graphics cards are in the same factories as DDR4 and DDR5 RAM. So theoretically, if we are on a sinking Titanic of GPU prices in reverse, because GPU prices are going up, they're not going down, then my goal by the end of this video is to tell you guys which lifeboats are going to be the best to get on, aka which graphics cards are going to be the best of a worst case scenario. And trust me, there are some lifeboats you don't want to hop on because prices for some graphics cards, as you'll soon see later in this video, are freaking ridiculous. But some are not that bad, and I'll be covering those in this video. And if you think finding the right graphics card for your PC is going to be an over-the-top and super complex thing to figure out, it won't be. It's actually really easy. Thanks to the website we're going to be using throughout this video, gpus.gg. This is a website I created to help you guys find your perfect graphics card. You can play around with the price slider, the different tags, the different specifications you want for your graphics card. And this is just a really neat website if you just want to skip this video and honestly just find your perfect graphics card. But more or less, we're going to be using it to compare GPU prices throughout this entire video. But otherwise, we're going to get straight into it right after a word from our sponsor. If you're in need of a secondary display for your gaming setup but don't have the room for a second monitor, or you're just looking for a small, portable, and compact display, then you're gonna have to look at the Corsair Xenon Edge. In either atomic purple, white, or black, this is a 14.5-inch LCD touchscreen display that has many use cases that you can find useful in your setup. If you're a streamer and you need a dedicated Twitch chat display next to your monitor, then this is it. If you're a sim racer and you need a dedicated display to change your game or profile settings on the fly, then this is it. Or if you're a gamer looking to perk out your gaming setup or even the interior of your PC while displaying your CPU, GPU, and other diagnostics, like I said, this is it. The Corsair Xenon Edge has many use cases that'll be great for all types of PC gamers. So if you want to check one out for your gaming setup or PC, I've got it linked at the top of the description below. So we're going to start from the cheapest and work our way up to the most expensive. And don't get me wrong, there are some inexpensive graphics cards that are actually still okay, despite how much graphics cards have risen in price. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the price slider to, let's go for just under $400, so $390, and let's see what we've got here in the budget range. And surprisingly, and I'm going to start off with the best budget graphics card right now, I am not joking. If you check out prices for it, it's only gone up $10 above MSRP, whereas literally everything else has increased by like 50 to at most like $3,000 or something ridiculous. That's the 5090, by the way. It's like possibly $5,000 right now as of filming this video. But what isn't $5,000 is the RTX 5050. Look at it. I'm not kidding, guys. At least here in the United States on Newegg, you could pick up the RTX 5050 for a modest $260, making it the cheapest graphics card in this video. Unless you want to take a chance on the Intel Arc A750, a last generation Intel Arc card if you wanted something new, for $200 bang on, which is okay, but the 5050 is going to have DLSS 4, 8GB of VRAM, same as the Arc A750, and it's going to be significantly faster for $50 more. So yeah, that is how messed up 2026 is. The RTX 5050 is now a good deal because, as I'll soon show you, the two prime candidates I would always suggest in this budget graphics card range, those being Intel Arc cards, have unfortunately gone up in price, making this, I think, the best price to performance GPU under $300. And all things considered, there are some reasons why this GPU is holding out the best amongst the RAM apocalypse. Unlike the RTX 5060, which uses 8GB of GDDR7 memory, the 5050, hear me out, uses 8GB of last generation GDDR6 memory, meaning it's not going to be affected too much in terms of memory price increases, unlike the newer and faster, more expensive GDDR7. As you'll soon see later in this video, anything that has GDDR7 memory has been jacked up in price. But the 5050, all things considered, it's basically an RTX 4060 that can support DLSS 4. And having only 8 gigabytes of VRAM at a price of $250, whereas you'll soon see later in this video, there are other 8 gigabyte graphics cards that retail well above $300. This is actually okay. As a matter of fact, I'll update this soon on my website, but right here where it says GPU of the month, I'm gonna legitimately switch that out for an RTX 5050. Actually, I'm not kidding. I'm gonna buy this exact GPU after I finish this video, because this at $260, all things considered, I don't have a 5050. I want to get one for that much. That's actually not too bad. If you want a basic 1080p gaming graphics card that can handle a lot of things, because 8 gigabytes of VRAM is going to be enough for 1080p gaming, plus getting DLSS 4 on the cheapest available Nvidia graphics card on the market, it's a fair shout. I'd really consider it. But now for my second most recommended graphics card in this price segment, and especially if you want to play at 1440p, once again, it's going to have to be the Intel Arc B580. Now, it is at pricing where it was last year at this exact same time, so it's just about $300. If we click into both of these links, it's sitting at about $290 on Newegg and Walmart, but it's currently out of stock, and on Amazon it's on $300 on the dot. So I would say if the 5050 interests you, but you want to play 1440p, then your next best choice will have to be the B580, because this has 12 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory. So not GDDR7, GDDR6. And at $300, I think I said last year that was a good deal, all things considered, because graphics cards were also marked up in price, but it wasn't because of a RAM apocalypse. It was because of crazy demand and scalpers. But now, 1 year later, because of how bad the memory situation is, I would say B580 is looking like a better deal at $300 versus last year. Still, I don't think it's got the same price to performance as the 5050 for $260, but considering this is $300, can do 1440p, I'd say it's still good. And if you had any doubts on the Intel Arc software and drivers, this graphics card has been out for over a year, and any possible issues it may have had have been easily ironed out. And if you check out the Intel Arc subreddits, this should be a well-flying graphics card, just like the 5050 in terms of driver updates and stabilities, unless you do VR. If you want to do virtual reality gaming, don't get an Intel Arc graphics card. They just flat out don't support it whatsoever. And then the next best graphics card in this segment, which unfortunately gets dethroned by the 5050, is the Arc B570. If we go ahead and click into the GPUs.gg links, the B570, oh, this one's at $300, that's jumped up. But this one is at $250, so pretty much the exact same price as the 5050. Now, the only thing the B570 has going over the 5050 is that this does have 10 gigabytes of VRAM, but I don't think that makes up for the performance deficit it has to the 5050, plus the fact that the 5050 can tap into DLSS 4, and this can only tap into Intel XeSS 2, I believe. Otherwise, it would be a really great 1080p gaming graphics card that should retail for $220, but currently it's at $250, and that RTX 5050 at just over MSRP is a little too strong of a deal. So B570, still a great card, just the 5050 is a better deal. I can't believe I'm saying that in 2026, but here we are. And do we have any more GPUs under $300 we could cover? Well, nope, I guess not, because the 5060 is at $350. So $50 above MSRP. That's definitely an increase in price. I don't think it's worth the extra $100 over the 5050. Oh, let's talk about the 5060. All right, so here's the real 5060. It's gone up $50 in price. It has the same amount of VRAM as the 5050, yet the 5060 has that faster GDDR7 memory, but at an extra $100. It can still utilize the same DLSS 4 as the 5050, but I think if you were to actually look into benchmark charts between the 5050 and the 5060, between the 5060 and the 4060 wasn't, I mean, it was slower, but it wasn't miles away from the 5060. And the 5050 had about the same performance as a 4060. So for only an extra $100, I would not consider the 5060. I probably wouldn't do it unless you religiously play Fortnite Yeah, that's it, because Nvidia graphics cards just run that game ridiculously well. Yeah, even for only an extra $50, no, not the 5060. But the other conundrum I have is the RX 9060 XT 8GB. So the pricing's not up to date because I just updated it before I've been filming this video, but the 9060 XT 8GB is about $350, same as the 5060. This one is slightly better than the 5060 because the PCI Express slot on the RX 9060 XT 8GB is a full X16 width rather than the 5060's X8 width. And so it allows it to have, I think, slightly better memory bandwidth. Don't quote me on that, but if you look at benchmark charts, this does have better rasterization performance than the 5060. But once again, the 5060 does have DLSS4, so if you value that, I guess that would be the recommended card. But both of these at $350 with only having 8GB of VRAM is a bit stinky. Although, admittedly, both are faster than the Arc B580, that's $300, which is $50 less. Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. If you are just going to keep it at 1080p gaming, the 9060 XT 8GB and 5060 would be fine, but the lifeboats are at medium quality for these two. I wouldn't feel the most confident hopping on them, but they wouldn't be too shabby. As we'll soon see later in the video. But otherwise, I think that's all of the budget graphics cards, and let's go ahead and move on to the mid-range. All right, y'all, it's that time of the video again. I gotta do it. If you've been enjoying this video, despite how crappy the current GPU situation is, if you could please give it a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. Anyways, let's talk about the best mid-range graphics cards. So go ahead and set the price slider from $400 moving up to, I think, what's considered mid-range in 2026? I don't know. We'll do 400 to 660. And some of you may say 660 is too high, but you'll soon see. This is kind of the new mid-range in 2026. So we've got the 9070 going down to the 9060 XT 16GB. So let's start with the cheapest. Wait a second. I lied. There's a fifth one. I was wondering where it was, suspiciously at MSRP. Anyways, we'll save this one for last, but 9060 XT 16GB. This is rough because at $440 right now, if we were to click into the gpus.gg links, on Amazon, it's sitting at $450 right now in the US. On Walmart, it's sitting at $440. On Newegg, it's also sitting at $440. Oh, it's just, that is basically $100 above MSRP. And I don't think this is a $450 graphics card. I think, quite literally, 4 months ago, we were looking at RX 9070s. So one of these for like $520 to $530 on Black Friday. And that was a good deal. But nowadays, I wouldn't. This was one of my favorite graphics cards. Yeah, because when it came out, it was such a big, punch in the face to the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB, which also has its fair share of problems right now, because this just offered flat out better price to performance while having the same amount of VRAM, and the price premium with the 5060 Ti 16GB just wasn't worth it over the 9060 XT 16GB. But although this does have 16GB of VRAM and it is about $440, in this current market, I would love to see it go down in price to maybe just above $400, possibly $420, but I would just not. This lifeboat, yeah, no, 9060 XT 16GB is a no for me right now. No, it's a great 1440p card. I love it, but not at its current price. Let's move up though to the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB, which I've got right here, which you want to know how much I purchased this for last during Black Friday? I think it was $380. That was a great deal because now it's $540. Let's look. Yeah, $540. That ain't great. This is not great at all. I will let you know, for less than $100 more than this, you can pick up an RX 9070. So already, the 5060 Ti 16GB is a bad deal. Yes, it is still a great 1440p graphics card if you can find one in a well-priced pre-built PC, because This, at the end of the day, is an Nvidia graphics card with 16 gigabytes of VRAM. That is definitely worth it, especially considering that it's GDDR7 memory, not GDDR6. So it's got a bit more memory bandwidth, which works with its 128-bit memory bus. If you totally flew over what I just said, I don't blame you, but this is actually one of Nvidia's better graphics cards that they released from RTX 5000. And the pricing for it just sucks. This is a lifeboat. You're gonna sink, you're gonna drown. You're basically going to game over if you get this on the DIY market. Maybe there's a pre-built with a decent price, but alone for $550, nope. And then, the RTX 5070. This one does hurt me. I know I've been tough on the RTX 5070 over the years because I never liked the fact that it had 12 gigabytes of VRAM and that I arguably like the 9070 more. However, let's still talk about it because at its lowest price, $650, you know, maybe the $20 coupon makes it like, you know, $630, but no bueno, because this has 12 gigabytes of VRAM at over $600. That is a no-go. That is a no-go. I know the market is really bad, but there's another graphics card for literally less or at the same price with more VRAM that has better rasterization performance, and it's just going to be better for you in the long run. The 5070 was really awesome during Black Friday and Cyber Monday because this saw some steep discounts from Nvidia. I think going down to, with rebates, as low as I think $490 or $480. That was such an incredible deal and worth it, despite having 12 gigabytes of VRAM. But now in 2026, this lifeboat, it's worse than the 5060. No, they're both bad. You're gonna sink in both of them. What you won't sink in though is the RX 9070. So if you click into the various GPUs.gg links in the RX 9070 here, at least here in the United States, and don't get me wrong, you can also check out other regions on GPUs.gg. On Amazon, it's sending at $650. No, but on Walmart and Newegg, which are US only, it is about $630. And actually, here on Newegg, you can get an additional $10 off and bring it down to $620. And in this current market, it's not bad. I will say, I think this 9070 pricing is now where it was last year. Oh no, well actually right now it's still at a better price than where it was last year. Because I think the 9070 was also hanging at around $630 back in the summer of 2025. It never hit MSRP until literally Black Friday. So all things considered, this is fine. And I think the reason why it hasn't seen the same dramatic price increase as like the 5070 or other Nvidia graphics cards is because this has GDDR6 memory. And better yet, it's got 16 gigabytes worth of them. So that's still gonna be good for a 1440p plus gaming experience. But it does kind of suck when you look at my recommended GPU heat map. The best graphics cards you can find for the money are going to be below $300, and then it doesn't get any better until you spend at least $630, so at least twice that amount with an RX 9070, which sucks to say, but that's the market we're in right now. Regardless though, do I see the situation improving? No. So this might be the best you'll get it, and if it makes you feel any better, I think this is still cheaper than where it was exactly 1 year ago as of publishing this video. Yeah, no. We'll have to look. We'll have to look back. I'll look back in another video. Oh, but we left the fifth one for last. So we need to talk about the RTX 5060 Ti 8GB. This is still at MSRP. $380. I'm not kidding. If you check GPUs.gg and you look into the website, $380 on Walmart, which is US only, $380 on Newegg, which is US only, and on Amazon, the cheapest one I found here in the US was about $410. And if you have a 1080p high refresh rate monitor that goes up to say 240 hertz, or heck, maybe even 360, I'll give you a pass. Simply on the merit that the 5060 Ti, other than the 5050, has not gone up in price at all. And it has GDDR7 memory. Like, what? I'm at a loss of... Wow. Okay, well, if you play at 1080p and you don't plan on moving on from 1080p, this is fan-friggin-tastic. If you play at 1440p or above, do not consider this whatsoever. 8GB is not going to be good now or even in the future, because I mean, heck, we don't know what game optimization and game development is going to look like in 2 to 3 years time. It could hog up even more resources on your PC. We have no clue. And I feel like 8 gigabytes of VRAM at this price point just isn't comfortable. But all things considered, like the 5060 Ti 8 gigabytes for only $30 more than the 9060 XT 8 gigabyte and the 5060 we were just looking at, it looks like a deal. No one has bought it, and it has stayed at MSRP. I will give you a pass if you decide to buy this. Only if you play at 1080p. Only if you play at 1080p. Now let's go ahead and finish out with the best and worst high-end graphics cards, which, if you can scroll down here to high-end, I don't need to do any price segmentation. This is pretty much it. I'm going to stop you right there. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, these GPU of the month videos, I try to push them out on a monthly basis. And if you want to see them more regularly pop up in your inbox, this is your moment to subscribe. Just letting you know. Anyways, let's start off with the talk of the town, the RX 9070 XT. Ooh, again, not to make you feel too bad, but $730 was the same price for this graphics card back in the summer of 2025. So this has not seen the same price increase as its Nvidia counterparts, again, partially because I think it has 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 memory, not GDDR7, so the memory increase in price is not as drastic as it could be. And this for just over $100 more than that cheapest RX 9070 GPU we were looking at. Oh, it puts us in the same situation as we were in last year. The 9070 XT, all things considered, is on paper the best graphics card in terms of price to performance, hardware, what you get for the money, future-proofing, features, all that fun stuff. For the MSRP it was originally rated at, which was $600. But at $730, you're really stretching that and really testing yourself if you want to commit to a graphics card like this that is that expensive. And the counterpoint to this situation would be, if you didn't want to get an RX 9070 XT for only $50 to $100 more, you could pick up the 5070 Ti. However, as you'll soon see, the 5070 Ti is no longer $750. It's way more than that. So there's nothing really close in proximity to the RX 9070 XT whatsoever. It is in its own orbit, and yet it is still a fan-freaking-tastic graphics card. Will slaughter anything at 1440p. Will do 4K gaming on command. Unless you want to do like path tracing, it will do a lot of things. And at $730, if you needed a high-end graphics card, this is the least damage you'll take if you wanted something that will just give you everything. Again, if you needed a graphics card. If you would like a new graphics card and yours is fine, don't pay this much for an RX 9070 XT. But if you needed something that is high-end, because AMD and Nvidia are not going to come out with their next generation of graphics cards until next year, and we're talking like Q3, Q4, 2027, this is going to be as good as it gets without committing atrocities, as I'm looking right now at the other side of the table, which you guys can't see, but I can. Or you could already see on gpus.gg because it don't look good. But RX 9070 XT is a okay lifeboat, all things considered. What is not okay, it is, I'm so sad. This might be like top 5 saddest moments in PC gaming hardware history. The absolute atrocity that is now the RTX 5070 Ti pricing in March of 2026. This card was so friggin' awesome back in Black Friday and Cyber Monday because you could find some for just above $700. And that was really, really awesome because again, an Nvidia graphics card with 16 gigabytes of VRAM is always going to be a good thing if it's not horrifically overpriced. And that was the case for the 5070 Ti. $1,000, $950. And you want to know why it's this expensive? It's because Nvidia is prioritizing their 16 gigabyte GDDR7 memory modules to the more expensive 5080 because this will make more profit than the 5070 Ti, which from a business perspective, is the thing to do. Is the thing to do. Does it suck for the 5070 Ti? Absolutely. Because if you could still find one for an okay price, this is an incredible 1440p 4K gaming graphics card that can do more than gaming. It's got really awesome integrated video codecs, encoders and decoders. So if you're a content creator and you're going to be working with compressed 4K H.265 raw footage, like what you're seeing in this video, this is freaking awesome. But if you're a gamer and you're looking for a high-end graphics card, this is not it. Do not drop $1,000 on this. Don't forget, if you wanted to discard ray tracing just for a moment, for a rasterization performance, the 5070 Ti like low-key loses to the 9070 XT. And the 9070 XT is like, I don't know, $250 less expensive than this? Yeah, this was one of my favorite Nvidia graphics cards, which now is still one of my favorite. Just the lifeboat's at the bottom of the ocean, man. I'm so sad with the 5070 Ti because now the RTX 5080 card that I assume Nvidia is allocating all of the 60GB memory for is sitting on Newegg at about $1,400, so $400 above MSRP. $1,400 on Walmart, and on Amazon it doesn't even matter. So yeah, RTX 5080 for $1,400. No, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, there are gonna be some games that don't use ray tracing, and you're not gonna be able to notice the difference between an RX 9070 XT and a 5080. The only thing you're gonna notice is that near $700 difference in price in your bank account. You'll notice that much more. Heck, even the ray tracing gains of a 5080 over a 9070 XT won't be that noticeable, or will certainly not be any more noticeable than the $700 difference in price that's going to hit your bank account. Other than path tracing, if you wanted the top tier path tracing experience and you really wanted to go for bleeding edge graphics, the 5080 is going to be your best bet other than the 5070 Ti, but to spend this much just for that, for the average gamer, it's just not worth it. This GPU was worth picking up during Black Friday for $950 back in November, but otherwise at $1,400, no, this ain't a good lifeboat. And let's cap off the video with the RTX 5090, which retails for $3,700 to $600. Nope, don't get it. Don't care, don't get it, don't get it, nope. Anyways, that is it for today's GPUs of the month video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and if you like these kinds of videos, I will be putting out more of them, so go ahead and hit the subscribe button and you'll see these pop up in your subscription box. Really cool, novel thing, right? With all that said, again, check out gpus.gg. Thank you so much for watching, and this is the ScatterVolt channel, signing out.